Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be swatching all the new eyeshadow palettes that I have recently hauled. Now some of them I have not had a chance to use, but I enjoyed filming the other swatching video. I believe you guys enjoyed watching it, so I thought we would do another one. I just haven't had a lot of time to do makeup stuff lately, plus I was sick for, oh my goodness, almost 2 weeks. So yeah. So, first palette we have here is the Covergirl True Naked Dazed eyeshadow palette. These are gorgeous. I got this palette. I cannot wait for spring and summer. These are $10 at Walmart. You get a decent size pan, and the eyeshadows are actually really nice and pigmented. And I've not used this on my eyes, but I have watched a ton of tutorials of people using this, and this palette seems to be pretty good. I can't wait to use it. I love the fact that this is like Roy G. Biv, so it's a rainbow palette, you know, in the sense of red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet kind of thing. So I don't know, I love this concept. I will say it's a little bit powdery. I love how pigmented and glittery some of these eyeshadows are. They're so pretty. Now there is one matte in that palette right here. So on to the swatches. Next up is the Maybelline Matte Bar. Now here are the shades, and you can get this at Walmart. Once again, $10. I do like about this palette, I've actually used this one a couple times. I really like these eyeshadows. They're really nice and creamy and pigmented. They last all day without creasing. Is how much you get of some of the eyeshadows, because I really love this for a transition color, this for a brow bone, and I've been using this one a lot too. So these are probably going to be the three that go for me first, and those are my three favorite shades. So I don't know why they done that. Also on the back, these have names, and you get a couple looks. This palette overall is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Stunning on the eyes, applies really nice and pigmented, and not a lot of fallout. Next up, we have the Physicians Formula Butter eyeshadows. This is in Sultry Nights. They also have another palette that has a couple colorful eyeshadows in it, like a purple and a blue. And this is $15 at Walmart, and I have used this one time. Now, we'll say, upon swatching these, I was a bit disappointed because they didn't swatch the greatest. But after actually using it and applying it to the eyes, they apply so pigmented. They're really creamy, super nice. The big downfall to this palette to me, though, the shadows are powdery. They're very powdery. Doesn't bother me very much, but different size eyeshadows, that bothers me a little bit. Now, I will say this eyeshadow here is one of my most favorite eyeshadows in the palette. I absolutely adore this shade. One of the reasons why I got this palette here, and it literally will not swatch very well, and it is difficult to apply to the lid. Good thing that you can use these wet or dry, because that does help it when you apply it wet. But already you can see that it's getting that weird layer on top, and I am just going to scrape that a little bit. That's kind of a downside for this being $15 and one of the most beautiful shades in it halfway performing, but sometimes that happens. There is a scent to this palette. It kind of smells like sun tanning lotion to me. It smells good, but for somebody who's sensitive to smell, it is kind of, I don't want to say loud because it's not that loud, but I think if you're applying this on your eyes and stuff, some people might be bothered by that. Overall though, this is a good little palette. Very beautiful. Not to mention that awesome holographic packaging there. You have them sectioned off into little look areas here. So it's supposed to be look, look, look. You can use them however you want to, like always. Here are the swatches. Next up is Profusion Wanderlust palette. This is $10 at Walmart. Their packaging, I love that you can see the shadows. I love the gold trim. The other ones have holographic trim that were for Christmas. A 21 eyeshadow palette. The eyeshadows have names. You get a blending brush in there. If you haven't used Profusion eyeshadows yet, you definitely should if you can find them. They are so nice, unbelievably pigmented for the price. Some fallout, there is a little bit of kickback in the palette, especially with the matte shades. They're all pigmented. They apply and last, don't crease. The shimmery shades are vibrant all day long. They blend so nicely together, and they do metallic and shimmery shades wonderfully. And you get a nice mix of mattes and shimmers in most of their palettes. Highly recommend the Profusion palettes that are like this. Profusion Festival palette. This is 35 eyeshadows, and they say Pro Pigment palette. Almost $13 at Walmart. I want to say it's $12.50. Once again, the eyeshadows are named. There's a plastic overlay on them, and once again you get a mix of mattes and shimmery shades. This palette is actually more mattes than shimmers, and once again, nice creamy, a little bit of kickback, a little bit of fallout, but so pigmented. Blends so nicely on the eyes. I've used this palette a couple times too. This eyeshadow palette reminds me of some BH Cosmetics eyeshadow palettes that come out. So this reminds me of that. It's got a lot of bright colors in it, a lot of muted neutrals. So if you're into that thing, you want do a lot of neutral looks with some pops of color in the inner corner, lower lash line, that kind of thing, this palette is perfect. And look at the mix of mattes and shimmers in there, and a lot of times in their palettes they coordinate so well together. I highly recommend these Profusion palettes. So here are the swatches of this one. hope you guys enjoyed another swatch video. Stay tuned for lots more tutorials. Check the description box for additional link, and thank you guys always for watching.